I'm confident that these provisions will strengthen the legal and institutional framework on fighting corruption and institutionalize good governance in our country. Indeed, the anti-corruption war is a daunting challenge, compounded by its often intertwined relationship with politics. However, under the new constitution, leadership and ethics are now the new frontiers of fighting this vice, and it will no longer be possible for the corrupt to buy their way into positions of power. This is actually, come to think of it, heartwarming, because although there could be cases of misapplication or whatever misapprehension, because really, as we go through some of these by-elections and others, we begin to ask questions, is there any change, really? But believe you me, during the next general election, whenever that will be, it will be possible for people to now have to measure themselves against a very serious constitutional yardstick. And I don't see anybody getting away lightly. As we legislate new laws, I urge you all gathered here to lead Kenyans in being extra vigilant in ensuring that those charged with the implementation of the new constitution bequeath this country anti-corruption laws that will free us from the flagrant theft of public resources and steer our country towards our long-cherished dream of prosperity and equitable distribution of wealth. Fellow Kenyans, let me at this point commend all the sectors represented here, the executive, the public, and the private sectors, professionals, religious organizations, civil society, the media, and labor, among others, for working hard to develop and implement work plans based on the National Anti-Corruption Plan. However, for the war against corruption to beget greater surrender value and deliver desired results, the spirit of best practice must begin right in our homes, in our places of worship, as our education to elaborate, learning institutions, and community associations. When ordinary wananchi evaluate progress in fighting corruption, their gauge is in the number of successful prosecutions of especially public officers involved in corrupt practices. This, I would argue, is area where we have the greatest challenge, where progress will have the greatest impact on public opinion, and where we will begin to restore trust in the ability to wrestle corruption among organizations and in initiatives charged with confronting corruption. And there, Professor Lumumba, the country is actually waiting. I can tell you, the moment you really move, because I think this is the nexus that is missing. I do not know whether this has to await the arrival of Director of Public Prosecutions, or indeed a new Attorney General, as Mutula said, or Chief Justice. But I know that the country is waiting with almost a bated breath to see the first hard move by you, Professor Lumumba, and your team. We wish you Godspeed. The case last week, where Kibera resident magistrate fined a police officer 1 million shillings for demanding a bribe of 900 shillings, is laudable. I think the country is waiting to hear such many more such rulings, and very bold pronouncements. This is really the time to live the change that we have been preaching. As I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, let me urge all the sectors, all the delegates, and stakeholders to keep the National Anti-Corruption Plan alive. Beyond today, I see a new Kenya, where the anti-corruption agenda will be prominent and on the center stage. It is now my pleasure to declare the 5th Annual Integrity Review Conference officially open and wish you fruitful deliberations. Thank you, and God bless Kenya.